Oh, new guest today.
Yeah, she's stretched out on the floor asleep. She's napping. It's the little one sitting on the couch with his ears perked up and his tail wagging, looking at me while I'm talking. Don't come over here.
All right.
Stay there. Take your nap over there.
Do people tell you where to sleep though when you be taking naps? Do people be telling you?
Huh?
People tell you where to sleep when you want to go take a nap though?
Well, the difference is I pay the rent here.
Okay, facts.
They're my broke best friends. So unfortunately,
does that mean that if a nigga lives with his old lady and he ain't paying no rent, that she can dictate where he take his naps?
Yeah, actually,
not on my couch.
Yeah, actually.
Yo, true story. And I'm like, before we get started, I used to be friends with this guy, and he was always complaining about this chick that used to be his girlfriend. Then they get back together, and he's like, I go over there, and he's like sleeping on the couch because her daughter's sleeping in the bed. And then it was just like, whatever, like, you making her do all, or you doing all of this because this is her spot. But for some reason, you putting up with it. And then you come to find out the car that she's driving and the house that she lives in, both of their names are on it. And this nigga's not allowed to drive the car, and he's made to sleep on the couch. And I was just like,
I'm very confused.
Oh,
yeah.
No, I ain't saying nobody should do that.
Right. I'm just like, wow. But anyhow.
Anyway.
Maybe they need to sell that.
I don't know if I ever told y'all that story about the time my cousin went to go to the bathroom, and he was like, hey, come here. And I'm like, why? He's like, come in here. And I go in the bathroom. He's like, look, I need you to know that I'm not cleaning this up, but I also need you to know that I'm not the one that did this. So when you walk in the bathroom behind me, you're not mad at me. And she was the person to be in the bathroom before him, and it was piss all over the toilet seat and on the floor. And I was just like, yo, what?
Wait.
What is
she?
This? Yeah, she came to my crib.
Pissed all over
the toilet seat. Like, I get squatting. You don't know me. It's your first time in my crib. I'm cool with that part.
But like, how old are we that we haven't perfected it yet?
Dog,
like,
right. Yeah, this
I
was
mean,
like late 20s,
if you
early
don't
30s.
perfect it and you miss, why wouldn't you
clean it up?
Why wouldn't you wipe off the toilet seat? Yeah, I was like, well, why would you? Okay, well, God bless everyone. Good luck, everybody.
All right.
Jay Boogie.
Oh, we woke the dog up.
So, guys, we're gathered here today to lighten the mood a little bit, right? If this is your first time joining us, I'm Chris. That's VJ. That's Penrose. We're all docked up. And today we are, like I said, lightening the mood. We're going to do Class Action Park. Very different speed, kind of different speed. Because remember when we were talking about how we were going to do something and it was only like one death in it? Definitely 4. But
like, we don't talk about them at length, and we can kind of like, I mean, it's horrible, but we can kind of gloss over it because it's not really the point.
Like, Jay finally actually seen a documentary we about to do, which is great. I'm so excited.
And I ain't going to front.
Hey, girl.
Through the whole joint, I'm watching. And just to kind of piggyback on what we talked about, like, yo, let's do one to lighten the mood.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was funny that I got to the end of this joint and I was like, a rich nigga that nobody's accusing of molestation? Yes.
Right. We made it. Like we found something.
No,
we did it.
Sexual fuck up in this whole time.
This is true. Nobody got molested.
There was no non-consensual sex to be had in this story. Very awesome.
Consensual. Nobody got abused.
For all the right reasons.
Right. Like it was okay that they called him uncle.
Right. Like I thought it was weird at first, and I definitely thought, wait, we're going to molestation.
Yes. I'm like, no.
Nobody got molested.
Nobody got molested, guys. Good time.
Great.
If this is your first time at all docked up, that should let you know we talk about some pretty serious shit. That we're celebrating the first time.
The fact that we don't have to talk about it.
That last one was a lot. So
I mean, like, wow, like I didn't really expect it to like hit the way that it hit, guys. Like, so we really needed this like palate cleanser. So
maybe,
guys,
were we in retrograde, and that's why we was all sad?
Maybe. Like, I don't know. Like, let me find out.
Because now that I think about it, I was like, it was very like rough, but it wasn't like as rough as I felt like it was when we were talking about it. Like now that I think about it, I'm like, yeah, that shit was fucked up, but it wasn't fucked up like I was crying this shit while I was
watching.
What was wrong with me?
Okay, so guys, if you don't know, we are talking about Class Action Park. You guys can find this on HBO Max.
Yeah.
The worst
you're-
streaming service known to man.
Listen,
It's
don't
the
fuck
worst.
with that.
It's the
The
worst
best-
and the best. It's the worst and the best.
Fantastic stuff on there, but goddamn, you gonna have to work through that interface to see it.
I don't know. Look, I just watched.
I just be trying to watch the Jamie Foxx show and shit. Like,
I just watched all 5 seasons of Martin with no interruptions, like within like 2 days.
Right. Oh shit! Come on. Did you get to go or no? Hey.
Hey. Now I gotta know. I gotta know.
I need to know if you went.
I
I need some testimonials. Like, what's up? Okay, so guys,
because I didn't see
HBO
no black people in them goddamn shots, girl.
It was one
So you
nigga
was
on
in
the
Action
observation
Park.
deck.
I need to know about it.
Penrose said it was one nigga watching all the white people. get
Nah, he was like, it looked like he was a worker. Like he was holding the drink, trying to give it to the girl. Like, yeah.
Exactly.
No, I also listen, and I don't want to jump ahead because I know we're gonna get to this, but I don't want to forget this point. The whole time throughout this documentary, we're using cartoons. You know what I'm saying? The one time they talk about pulling a dirty kid to do the cow pod thing, is it me or did that kid look Mexican? Like, am I? Thank you. Okay, I know it wasn't just me. I'm like, yo, there's been white cartoons.
Like he didn't look white with like he didn't look like Pigpen. Like I was thinking like it was
Right.
like Pigpen.
They had like dirt
Charlie Brown. They was
and
gonna
shit.
put some dirt on him. That wasn't what happened.
My man
He
was
did
brown with a mustache. His hair flipped up a little bit. I was like, yo, that's racist as shit.
I was expecting him to look like Dirty D, like, and he did not look like Dirty D.
He looked like an extra for West Side Story. I'm so pissed.
It's okay,
Word.
y'all. Okay, so guys, what was Action Park? It was technically the first water park. Is that
Yep.
accurate? Okay.
From what they say, I didn't research that part, but
Okay, so your main players in this, and y'all gonna have to help me a little bit with the names because I didn't write like nobody's names. Gene and Robert are gonna be your main fucking players, okay?
mhm.
Right?
These are the two guys. This is 1970s New York, so think like fucking Wall Street and fucking like, you know, like niggas in fucking suits and like being dicks and trying to sell shitty fucking stocks to people and making profit off of it. This was these guys.
Basically like the way because again, like we sit with a lot of interviews with people that are just like comedians and people that work there. I didn't get anybody's name. So sorry.
At all.
God, it wasn't
We're
really
gonna be like that girl that looked like, or the dude with the glasses.
it wasn't
or
central. They worked
Right.
there or they've been there, and that's really all you need to know.
The
Okay.
nigga that had the Ron Howard head.
That right.
The comedian or whatever. But Gene Mulvihill,
They really don't though.
they said he was like
Real
the
shit.
1970s Gordon Gekko. So I guess so there you go. That's the easiest way to put it.
Yep.
Him
Yep.
and Robert was shoveling penny stocks down everybody's throat via Mayflower Securities
Right.
till the SEC stepped in and said, "Wow, so you guys are scamming? Everybody's scamming because this is the 70s, but you're scamming at a level that's above everybody.
Right.
So we're gonna have to shut you down." Like,
So sorry. Kick these niggas off of Wall Street. So Gene instead buys 2 ski resorts in Vernon, New Jersey, right?
Yep, Great Gorge and that what was that? Valley Park.
yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Okay, so Vernon wasn't really popping, right?
Vernon
they have
Valley.
this-
My bad.
Vernon, okay.
Yeah.
So Vernon was like kind of popping, but like not really popping. And like fucking, he owned these fucking 2 ski resorts. And then your boy Hugh Hefner moved into the neighborhood. He opened up a Playboy Club in Vernon, New Jersey. So this is Gene's opportunity where he's like, all right, we about to get all of these fucking people, all of these fucking tourists and shit here because of this. And we got to find something to fucking way to fucking revenue money here. The issue was what to do with this ski resort in the summer months. How can we make money on this exact location, but when I ain't got no snow? But they also did say that he did create the first largest,
No, out of like
the
a
lar-
jet engine.
Yeah, the
yeah,
largest. He
the
went-
largest like artificial snow machine, because like he was really trying to make sure that the season lasted as long as it
I
could.
think he
'Cause
went
again,
into like
this
March
nigga's-
or April, right?
Right, because again, this nigga is used to that Wall Street fast money, so he's like, nah, the snow's melting, not on my watch. So he fucking made another one with fucking fucking jet engines, and that worked until like niggas was like, okay, but it's June now, so like he's like, what are we gonna do in these summer months? And that's kind of how Action Park is born. It was, like I said, I think it was officially the first water park ever, 1978. But was it a water park? Like,
yeah, and so they're getting investors with this, and so we find out that Robert Brennan is like his right hand man, right? And so Gene is like the dreamer with the grand ideas and the scam.
Robert goes and gets,
and Robert is the money man. Like he's the confidence
version.
man.
This was like the rich version of Pinky and the Brain, like the rich human version of Pinky and the Brain.
I'm not mad at that analogy.
It's not. Robert was definitely the money man. He had the way he may not have the vision for Action Park, but he know where to go get some money.
Right.
No PPP loans involved. So
no, like straight cash, nigga.
He got out there like straight cash. Was not taking no loans from the government. Went out there and got cash money in hand, and they built a whole fucking water park with it. So I mean, shouts out to that bitch. He is. Now listen, shout out to that man because he did some shit.
He did. Like,
and unlike the nigga from Firefest, he didn't have to suck nobody's dick for it.
Didn't have to suck a dick to get his water released from the ports. I'm not mad.
Listen, let's talk about it. Okay.
Was it surprise?
Hold on a second.
Thanks for chatting. Quick question.
Quick question.
I thought it was me because I set my notes on my keyboard on my laptop, and I was like, "Oh shit, who is this bitch?"
Her Alexa.
No, like I just really don't know why she just decided now was the time to have a.
Quick question.
Yo, Alexa want to know about that DP porn you was watching last night. Quick question.
But that wasn't last night though.
She's late to the party. That was
like not last night.
Asking too many questions. That's over.
Right.
Let's move on to something that matters, Alexa. That's not what we're on right now.
Okay. Oh, now, okay. I wish I could show you this because now she's like red, like she mad at me or something. So I don't know what that means, but we'll talk later, girl. Okay. Anyway,
somebody told me that red light me and they listen.
Well, then but I muted the mic though, so she can't hear me no more. I thought that would get her to shut up, but it didn't. Okay, sorry guys. So what were we talking about? Oh, okay. Did we have any other background stuff you want to talk about before we get into the actual part?
They got the investors is they built it as the next Disneyland in New Jersey because the Playboy Club was there, and they figured, we'll get
Atlantic City wasn't that far.
Yeah,
but remember that's why they said Hugh put it there. They had gambling in Atlantic City. And Hugh Hefner felt like gambling was going to reach the northern part of Jersey. So he was like, fuck it, I'm going to put the club here. So they was competing with, they said, Vegas and Orlando, Florida. So it was meant to be something.
Don't know what.
If we really think about it, he was trying to get in on what Vernon was meant to be. And
I just wish that he like had the skills to do it though. Like,
I think he did. I think
I'm talking architecturally though.
What's alluded to a little bit is I think this dude might for real have some mob ties or ties that's just to very important people who play behind the shadows. Because if you think about it, you don't go by, I don't give a fuck how rich you are. You don't go buy 2 motherfucking ski resorts, turn them into what you want to, and then cause the fucking state government all the drama you caused without them just shutting your one single ass down.
Okay.
So this park has like 3 sections, right? So they have Alpine Center, which is where the infamous Alpine slide is, which we'll get to.
When we get into these rides,
Alpine is the ski shit during the winter. And some shit we'll talk about.
And some other shit in
the
summer.
Completely unsafe shit during the summer.
It just hit me that's literally the fucking ski jump.
It's the same shit. I was like,
yeah, it's the ski slope. Yeah. Water World and then Motor World. And then there is a entire highway running through the park.
Right through the middle of it. Right through the middle of it.
So if you want to go to Motor World, you got to cross the highway.
Right.
Like a chicken. Okay. So let's get into some of these rides. I think the Cannonball Loop, we have to. Only because I think out of all of the rides, we get more of the most like background and like developmental information about the Cannonball Loop. So I think that's really important to start there.
And
Wow.
then it was like,
Developmental information.
yeah, it was like everybody.
Yeah, I
talking
mean,
about-
right. Hard
Everybody
on
talking
the.
about the Cannonball Loop, like dudes
So-
talking about the first chick in middle school that they like.
So
Y'all
it's
seen
like-
that one girl?
So
yeah,
it's
Gene
like
got a
that.
cocktail napkin and he had one too many beers one night and was like, you know what?
Make this.
You know what the fuck this park needs?
Right,
It needs a
Or
water
it's like-
slide, but it needs
or
a
it's-
loop in it.
a loop.
It's
in
like-
it.
do a
It's kind of
circle.
like this.
Like
Yeah,
he
that's-
drew a
that's a
circle
better
like
design,
this on the
exactly.
cocktail napkin.
Yes.
And said, go do it.
For y'all who
Yes.
have not seen this documentary yet, at this part where they start talking about this loop, Gene was getting people to design this type of shit that the other fucking parks was like, we don't fuck with y'all.
He literally hired all of the niggas at Disney. Was like, arrest this man. Like he does not.
Kick them out of the convention. None of this.
Like
makes
he went to Universal Studios and was like, all right, and then at the end we're gonna have fucking just an explosion. And they was like, no.
sense. Right.
And
The
then-
people
and
that
then
are
Gene was like,
ordering,
Can you make a
like,
loop though?
Renee- yeah, like he basically went and got the Disney Imagineers that like are on the FBI watch list and was like, come work for me.
Right.
Right. Because mad scientists
was.
made it. Like,
That
Right.
was definitely on some. They probably are buying illegal guns. Like it was definitely giving me, I bought grenade casings on eBay type shit.
okay.
Yeah,
So
but
cocktail napkin. Somebody make this for me. And I think it's crazy important that there's like not a fucking real engineer here.
they don't bring an engineer.
Not a
in until-
physicist.
They bring a
Why?
physicist in after they start experiencing the shit. Because remember, pretty much they brought a physicist in at some point, but it was
Mhm.
definitely after a lot of fucking
Yeah.
shit happened.
But at the beginning
But at
stages,
the
we're
beginning,
literally working with just niggas that have gotten fucking 86 off of Disney fucking property, like to create this thing. And they have to go through testing, right? So they
Right.
build it. It looks a mess. They got water going through it, right?
Right.
Just some fucking water going through it, and they're like, all right, we gotta test this. They go and get like a whole bunch of like dummies. And they start throwing these dummies down. And guys, I feel like my picture didn't do it justice, but this incline is pretty fucking steep.
Fuck
So
yeah.
you're going from pretty high down, and then like basically like where I feel like we're right at where your body would relax. That's
Yeah.
where
That's
the
when
loop
the
is.
loop starts. Real
What-
shit.
Yeah, kind of right between that spot where you would relax and be like, cool, I'm gonna hit the water. and,
Right.
oh shit, this is really fast. Like right
Right.
before you get to that relief spot, it's like whoosh.
Right.
That loop
right.
seemed to me like when you hit some weed and you like, this shit is trash. Damn, I'm out in the bitch. Like
Right.
in between.
Right there. Right there. Like, fuck, where am I? Like, right there.
Exactly.
Like when you have a little too
Why am
much,
I
of,
standing in
a
this
little too
room?
much of
Like-
an edible. Like it's that.
He told me only eat a half.
Right, you supposed to eat a half and you ate like 2/3, and now you're like
Right.
fuck, like sitting
I'm
around.
cool. I'm cool.
You
Right.
absolutely need engineers to make these rides. Like,
Right.
but
Like,
here we
I
are.
think Mm,
Listen,
You're not
girl,
even supposed to
G's
get the
dead,
permits.
and someone should have told him.
right. I think you know what this part was the equivalent to like how Adam Sandler every movie he made his homies is there. That's what this shit was. It was a bunch of niggas who had money and they was just drinking like, bro, we should for real just build this shit. Fuck it, let's go to jail.
Fuck it, let's build this shit. So they throw the dummies down here, and the dummies are coming decapitated, arms off, legs off, half. Like they're coming out fucked up.
All right.
So they tweak it a little bit. They're like, okay, let's make it, let's make the loop do this.
Let's
make
put a
it
little
higher,
cushion.
lower. Yeah. They do a little
Um,
trial and error tweaks on it, like you do with like a connector set, like in your fucking house, like in some
Right.
marbles.
Right.
Like they just fucking with the incline and the Legos and shit, trying to get it right.
Right. So when he feels like he's tweaked it enough, he just goes and stands by it with like a stack of $100 bills. And he's like, anybody go down here, I'll give him $100. And
You know what this
Something-
reminded me of when they said
what's
that?
that?
Remember when we watched when we did Pony Express and they said the
Mhm.
nigga used to come in and just put $100 on the board and leave the fuck out. I was like, yo,
Just
these
like
rich
that.
people just be going to high school kids like, I
Right
got
all
$100.
bills. This was 1970, so $100 was doing a lot.
Was
for
doing
them.
a
That's
lot.
what I'm saying.
Right.
It was doing a lot more than it does now. They
Real
was trying to
shit.
like to them that was like $1,000 fucking dollars. Those kids were probably like, "This is more than I'll make the whole summer." Absolutely.
Right.
Real shit.
Right.
When you saw they working papers, it's almost.
Oh my god, that shit said $4. I almost died.
That shit was $3.45 to $4. I think it was $4 to like $4.95, and then $4.95 to like $5.30 or some dumb shit
I
like that.
cannot.
I was
Myself.
like,
I was like, $4.
So what's the fucking have people's lives in my hands?
One of those lifeguard chairs, and they was smoking cigarettes in the
Nigga.
back and
Right.
drinking and shit. I'd have drunk too if I was making $4.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't
Wouldn't
imagine.
wouldn't have saved anybody.
Not a damn person.
Right.
So he stands and he's like, I got this $100 for anybody who goes down this fucking slide. And niggas is like, and again, we didn't really emphasize this yet, but I'll just say it now. This fucking park, we're talking about adult people making this park and having funds for this park. This whole fucking park was basically just ran by fucking kids
Yeah.
between like 14 and like 18. Is that accurate?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm assuming the oldest person.
And
you,
the oldest
might
person
have
in the
caught
park
like
was like the
30-year-old,
director of
like, throughout
security.
the park.
Right.
Yeah.
And he was 18 3/4.
Yeah, like that's what I think one of the guys said. He was like, you would come in, and if you were there for like a year, they would promote you. So basically, like if you started at 14, by the time you were 17, like you were in a golf cart
Right,
working in one of the offices, like you
Right.
weren't
He said that nigga was like, I was the director
of security.
security.
Yeah.
he was like, just let you know the title didn't
He didn't
mean
even-
much.
He didn't even believe that shit. Like, I couldn't believe that shit.
Right.
So these kids are like, fuck it. It's 1970, $100, or 1978, $100. Okay, cool. They're coming out with chunks out of their skin,
Lacerations. Yeah.
lacerations.
The lacerations
Um,
came from previous missing teeth, though.
So a couple of kids went down, fucked their mouths up. I don't know if they. What did you feel like it was implied that it happened so fast they didn't even know that shit was happening?
Yeah, because I mean, for them to say it was coming
For
out
me to
bleeding.
fall out of a fucking slide and my tooth is gone, I'm telling everybody else to fucking stop. Like,
Right.
Demonstration
But I
over,
think
my
they
nigga.
were coming out and their mouth was bleeding. And so I think it's one of those things like if you ever like ran into something and hit something, and so like your mouth is bleeding, but you don't realize if it's bad. Like you're just like,
that's
oh, I'm
interesting.
bleeding.
That's
I mean, like, you're just like, oh, I'm bleeding. Like if you scrape
Yeah.
yourself, you're like, oh,
For
I'm
the whole
bleeding.
tooth, though?
But I'm just saying, like if it, like let's say your
Yeah,
tooth
yeah,
comes
you
out.
didn't
Oh,
realize.
but I mean,
Yeah.
that's a
Your
lot of
tooth
blood.
comes
I
out
get
and your
what
mouth
you're
is
saying, yeah.
bleeding. Because if
Trying
you
to
hit
get
your
out the blood
you hit
flow.
your whole face, you just know
True.
you're bleeding and your face is hit. So you're not
Right.
thinking you're missing your teeth. You're just like,
Right.
damn, I hit my face hard as shit.
Hell as fuck. Yeah, hard as fuck. Right. Okay. So, they have to. So because of the way that the incline is, there's a couple, and the like because these aren't real engineers that made this, you can't be too small to go in it, right?
Because you don't get enough.
You won't
speed.
get
You
enough.
don't get
Yeah.
enough speed. You can't be too big because you get caught
You get
in the
stuck
fucking
in the
loop.
loop.
Because they had to put padding in the loop because of the way the loop is.
So you don't
Because
fuck
niggas
yourself.
was losing their teeth and shit.
Right.
So they put padding in the loop, and now if you're too big, you get stuck. So let's not scrap the whole fucking slide. Let's just put a trap door at the top so that when a fat nigga gets stuck, I
We
can
just
just crane
open
this
this
nigga
bitch.
out and just pull this nigga out by his fucking t-shirt and send the next nigga down. Like, what are we doing here, guys?
Yeah, the best part about the whole time watching about the Cantaloupe is the mysterious mystique that everybody had behind it. Like, dude was like, "Yo, this shit, if you went, you thought this shit was closed, right?" And then the dude who was the operations manager, and he said, "There's only two places a civilian can experience G9 or on G9 forces on Earth. And that's in the back of an F-14 and the Cantaloupe at fucking."
Because and in my mind, I'm sitting here trying to figure out how this goes, right? Because they're saying because of the force, you have to lay back and cross your arms when you go down the slide, which is normal. That's typical for most water parks.
Don't you feel like you're gonna break your ankles?
Right, but then in my mind, I'm thinking you go down feet first. You hit this loop, so your feet go, and then your whole front of your body is slamming into the loop.
Yeah.
And then you're coming out.
Nigga,
Because
I
it was losing
can't.
their teeth.
And then
It's
if you-
like, well, how?
If you
The
hella
fear
top
of
that
breaking
bitch-
my ankle stops me from doing so like 90% of things in
I
life.
just feel like you have to hit the loop, and like your face would have to be
your
on
face
the
is
fucking
yeah,
where
yes.
where
I
niggas
was
is losing their
thinking
teeth.
about it.
Like,
I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
that's where
Like,
niggas
I
are losing
would
their
be-
teeth.
Right.
Like, I would
On
have
the bottom
fainted
of the
in
loop.
that fucking
Or the
loop.
top of
For
the
my
loop, I guess.
feet to go over my head, and I looked. Oh fuck! Please.
Like out of all of the shit that they showed us this whole documentary, every ride that they showed, you saw various people completing these rides.
You ain't seen
That
nobody
one,
doing no
it
goddamn.
was
thing.
They didn't
that
show
was-
nobody.
It was the same. It was that one. They showed somebody coming out, but it was the same loop every time.
The
Never
only person
another
that
shot
came
at
out unscathed, like he was
Right.
the perfect weight. He got there, and nobody's teeth were caught, and he went down, and they caught it perfectly. Like,
Real shit. Yo,
That's crazy. So let's talk about Cannonball Falls now.
I think that might have been my favorite. Might
Yeah.
have been. It might between that and we'll get to the rest, but I like that one a lot. Just
So when we say
This is where
favorite
it's
here, are you
up.
saying that you would have definitely, absolutely, positively got on it, or absolutely
Oh, fuck
fucking
yes.
not?
after dude with the Ron Howard head explained what he heard coming down, and then just like the way he built it up, I'm 100% doing that one. 100%. No
Okay,
part of my
since it's your favorite, go ahead and describe the ride.
Okay. This was Cannonball Falls, right? Is what it was called.
Mm-hmm.
This was a double tubed or side by side tubed water slide that was built into the side of a mountain. So looking at it, all you see is where the tubes come out, and just like if you've been to any water park, nobody really pays attention to where the fucking pool is. You just know that there is one, and you're gonna be safe if you go do this ride. And this ride is you're walking up the side of a mountain, like on some stairs or whatever. They say you get into it, and it's not as steep as the Cannonball Loop. They say it actually looks just like a regular water slide. So, but you get in, and it's fast as shit. And as you're going, the guy's explaining that it's hella pitch dark. You can't see shit. And in this darkness, ahead of you, whoever went before you, all you hear is, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. He turned the corner, and you see it just this very small smidgen of light. And as soon as you see that, you see all of the light because it's the end of the fucking tube. And you don't come out in a regular pool like most. Most water parks shoot you out in the pool and you kind of skid in the water.
Skin on the water?
Maybe just nah. This shit literally shoots you out the side of a mountain. And he said at minimum, one of the guest riders said at minimum, you were 10 feet in the air. And this is like unexpected. You don't know how you're gonna fall. You might backwards face plant. You might get a good dive, whatever. But you just shot out the side of a mountain into 17-foot water. And
you got like 3 seconds to figure out how the fuck you about to land.
And then it's like spring water. Like this, keep in mind, like this is like nature. So he's not making like man-made pools.
I forgot to say that. I totally forgot to say that.
Like, he's not making man-made pools to catch you at the end of this. He is just using the natural springs that are as like a pool. The only artificial pool here is the fucking wave pool.
The wave pool, that's it.
Everything else is sliding your ass down into cold ass water, so you already are shot out the side of a mountain.
Fish might be in there.
Cold ass water.
It was a trout. It was a trout spring. They said.
Yeah. Just shoot you in there to where the fucking fish are and hoping you come up. Good boy.
Right.
Have fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
VJ, do you want to describe Man in the Ball in the Ball?
Okay, so at this point, they point out to us that Gene had a habit of being like, make me this. And then they would bring him plans for whatever it was, non-engineered, of course. And he would be like, nah, that's not fast enough. That's not steep enough. That's not whatever enough. Let's make this shit insane. And so then they would. So that's how they got Man in the Ball in the Ball. They decided, you know what would be really motherfucking cool? If we strap somebody in a ball and sit them rolling down a hill.
On a track.
Basically, on a track. So this is supposed to be on a track. So what this is a metal ball that has like ball bearings and then another ball inside of it. And so then you were in the inner ball strapped in, and then it's got wheels on the outside, which, by the way, like if you have not seen this, like just pause on the wheels. They look like the wheels on an office chair.
They literally look like the ones that just pop in.
Yeah, like they look like popping office chair wheels. Like I legit feel they just took them off. They were like, "Fuck it, this is a prototype." Every broken chair they had, they just like shoved them in the hole.
See if it'll work, my nigga.
And see if
Put it on the ball.
Right.
So they put this. They made a PVC track.
Nigga.
And put this metal ball on it, and you're supposed to ride down this track in this huge ass metal ball. And so they go to test this. Well,
the track didn't even look
safe at all.
Now, look, before y'all move, I just want to say this part. If y'all didn't catch this earlier, remember, this is a water park. Or the side. This is the side of the ski slope that's being used in the summertime.
Right, so they're just finding ways to use these hills, like
Yes.
to get to some of these rides. Like you were having to ride up the ski lift to get to the top of the ride, and that right there should be a sign.
So you know how like hills and like stuff are like way smoother when there's like snow on them.
They're not smooth.
Like when it's like natural terrain, like really kind of like lumpy, bumpy, and they made this PVC fucking track on this not so like super stable even mountainside.
So I just want to point out that anybody that has been to an amusement park can attest that they have never been on a ride or roller coaster or anything at the park. County fair, city fair, the carnival that pops up in the parking lot by the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
None of the tracks there are made out of PVC pipe. I just want to point that out to you. None of you have been on a fucking ride where the track was made out of PVC pipe. And I'm going to tell you why.
Real quick, for any of you who don't know what the fuck it is, the only place you're probably going to find it is under the sink in your house.
Or if it's like a random fucking kids project where you just need like a piece of it.
Boom.
Like other than that, there's literally no reason for anything to be built with that for real.
No regular person should ever have to touch PVC pipe in their life.
Is what I'm saying.
There's no reason. Usually you find it under your sink. Sometimes you will find it in the walls of some of these shoddily built homes, and not even shoddily built. A lot of times they don't use copper anymore because when they're building, people will break in and steal copper out of the wall.
Yeah.
So PVC pipe is normally used for construction and plumbing, not something you use in engineering rides. Just want to make that pretty clear.
Super clear. Like y'all don't have to go to the next amusement park and like ask what it's built with. Like I promise you, it will not be that.
It will not be PVC pipe because it is literally like 3 cents a foot. Like there is no, like they went and got the cheapest material they could find.
$25.
They paid for it and tried it layers and made a PVC track that went down an entire ski slope for $3. The loose change in Jean's couch and like a 76 Pinto. Like they made it for nothing. So they put this ball on there and they're like, we're gonna test this shit. Strap somebody in the ball. Cool. Well, the thing about PVC pipe, if you don't know this, is that it's plastic. It expands.
It stretches.
When it gets hot. Stretches out. Which is fine for your pipes, but not, not
when you got a person rolling down a hill on it.
Right. The whole idea is for the track to fit around the ball, not so much. Shit expands. He's riding down there. The ball is too heavy. The shit breaks. PVC pipe everywhere.
This nigga is now just rolling aimlessly down this fucking hillside.
Just rolling down the hillside.
And remember that fucking highway that we told you was running through the middle of it? He basically did think like Frogger, but like post-apocalyptic. Like that's what he's giving you.
Rolled down a hill, rolled across 94, and then into a swamp.
Into a pond, a swamp or some shit. Yeah.
Because he kind of, to get to that swamp, he went through Motor World.
Was it in Motor World? I wasn't sure. I wasn't clear if it was in Motor World, but it had to be in Water World, right? Because he crossed 94.
Right.
I thought Motor World was separated from Water World and Alpine by
the freeway.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So,
but he went through Alpine.
He was in Water World.
and
Went
ended up
across
in
the
Motor
freeway.
World.
Yeah, to Motor World.
He just went the wrong way because they clearly have like a walking overpass built over the highway for people to go. So the ball obviously rolled across the physical freeway into
Frogger is what I'm trying to tell you guys.
Yes. 100%
Frogger.
Frogger.
It was Frogger meets fucking Hunger Games. It was a lot.
Yes, like Frogger, but like without any like visuals, like because I can't
Like,
see like when it's
what's that
up.
other? All they had those young adult post-apocalyptic shit.
Yes, exactly.
Maze Runner meets fucking
Right,
Frogger.
exactly. Frogger and Maze Runner. That's exactly.
Divergent, the Man in the Ball series.
Man in the ball, crossing the freeway.
Just because y'all went on that type of rant and we talking about the ball, I don't know what rides I want to talk about next, but can I get the flex on real quick about the motherfucking battle tanks? Can we talk about battle tanks really quick?
Wait. Hold on. Wait. Because I want to make. Hold on. Wait. Yeah. Yes. Go ahead.
Why not?
Go ahead.
This dude had a part, and I think this might have been in Motor World. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Where he had literal tanks, y'all, like little mini built 1-man tanks that shot tennis balls at each other, right?
Yeah.
And so the whole idea though is that none of this is safe. There's no harness inside. There's no nothing because nobody's really thinking that anything can really happen unless you just run into each other at some alarming rate, which probably won't be done. Then some guy finds a way to take gasoline inside one of these things with him, soaks his tennis balls, and starts lighting them on fire and shooting them out his cannon at people, and he's setting other tanks on fire.
He got escorted out of the park.
What?
I said he got escorted out of the park, which is wild when you think about it, because nobody really gets escorted out of the park.
Right.
They do, like, for you to have gotten removed from the premises, do you know how fucking ridiculous you had to be?
What's up?
What else?
The battle tanks were in Motor World, but we're missing
Speed slide.
Aqua Scoot. Right. Nigga, Aqua Scoot. Okay. Super Speed Slide. The exit of the slide was right at a bee's nest?
No, that was the start of
the start of it was at the
it was at the bee's nest.
No, the start of Aqua School had the bee's nest.
Super Speed Slide.
No, he's right. It's Aqua School.
Because remember,
Speed Slide was just the one where you went down at like 65 miles an hour and it was like steep as shit.
And the water got at you in a very intimate way.
But right up the asshole.
And the water shot up your ass when you hit the bottom. Right. Everybody got a colonoscopy. It was cute.
Aqua Scoot was where you're sitting on like a sled. Because remember, guys, never forget this is a ski resort. So they're using the fucking sleds.
Ski rollers. The sleds, right.
Yeah. And so what you're doing is you're going down this like thing, and then basically the point is to see how far you can like rock skip yourself across the fucking landing pool.
Right.
That probably looked like the most fun.
It did. Look like
because it wasn't super speed.
But it's just physics. As long as you remember to do this, you'll be fine.
Like, as long as you sit back and then it scoot, like you're fine. Like,
I think what dude brought up was like, for anybody who's ever been inside of Assembly Warehouse, seen a video of one on your new hire day at a job, that roller shit that every fucking OSHA video has.
Oh yeah,
that's what the fucking track.
Those little like things that be pushing the boxes and shit along the way. That's what Aqua School was made out of. You like slid down that and then you like went across the water. They didn't even like waste no water trying to trickle it down. They just we'll just use these like dry ass, hot ass metal things.
What else? Tarzan swing. That was the other.
Tarzan swing. Yes. Ice cold trout water.
Right.
I mean, now Tarzan swing is probably going to be like I feel like in real life, like probably like the most visited one, just because that's really close to like stuff that people be doing anyway.
It's really normal in the grand scheme of things. Like
compared, right?
Yeah.
Like by in comparison, like if you did that at somewhere that wasn't action park, there would be like life vests. They would make you put them on. They would, they would swing you out over the water, and you would just drop. And that would be it. And then they would let you swim out, and then they would let the next people go. Like it wouldn't be a thing where everyone's standing up there and people are pushing you off the side and shit. Like it would be very controlled, and it would actually be like a thing.
But in Action Park.
Not an Action Park.
And mind you, for anybody that's hearing this, and I can't speak for my sisters. I can almost assume though that the way we describing it is crazy. But this place looks like the fucking place you want to be. Like
the commercials, like classic night, like in late 70s, early 80s, like this place is insane. Like with like all the cute like bitches with the perms and shit.
Right.
And everybody
their bang back and shit. This is the
like
best
everybody looks
ever.
like they're having
the best
fun.
place in the world.
No one's bleeding. Like it looks
They're all
super
great,
fun.
smiling. Everyone's got on their bikinis. They're
Look.
walking around and shit.
Right.
The third time I watched it and I got to that part of the doc, I was like, you wanna know how you know this is some bullshit? Because of that one chick with the makeup and the perm. Bitch, you ain't got on no rides.
She was like, she was holding a little boy like this is insane.
Right. And the commercial was done by Jean's daughter, so those was her.
That commercial makes me want to go back to 1978 and go to Action Park. Like
it looks like the best place in the fucking world.
This
like,
shit is bananas. BANANAS. Like I was like, I'm trying to be there. Like,
and
man,
the crazy part is like I'm watching this and I'm hearing like I've been to an amusement park as a teenager without supervision, right? And the most I've ever been told niggas don't do no dumb shit. There was no thought process for somebody to tell me like just use your best judgment, right? Because the places you go to are regulated safely. And
right.
So these
these people were telling their kids, hey.
Look,
one kid's parents absolutely positively told this nigga no. Oh, these are the same parents. They were like, absolutely not. But then the niggas like next door was hella going, and the dad was like, it's cool, I'll take him, like it's all good. And they was like, fuck, like it's free, like I ain't gotta be dealing with him today. Like fuck, all right, you can go.
And dude was a weekend dad, so they knew that opportunity probably wasn't coming back.
He probably ain't coming back for like till the weekend after next or some shit.
Right.
So they was like, all right. They grabbed him by the collar probably and was like, look, I want you to go. I want you to have fun. I want you to enjoy yourself. But by golly, like, please.
Don't do anything stupid, okay? Like I know that I know it's run by people in your 9th grade English class. So just don't do anything crazy. Because it's crazy because it seems very Jersey to me. Like obviously I've never been, but it gave me very Jersey that they were like swinging on this, and then the kids are like falling and drowning. You pussy!
Right.
You pussy!
Like
you couldn't have cleared that jump. Like nigga, I'm 12.
Kids, like they're not even using the goddamn rope. They're just pushing people off the goddamn
just pushing people off the fucking cliff. Because again, guys, this is a ski resort. These are just mountains, fucking cliffs, and fucking just rings. Thank you.
This is just natural shit that was built by nature into this mountain. But these niggas, it's that spot when you know you a good skier that you don't even get close to because you're like, oh, we out here. It's meant for scenery. It wasn't meant for niggas to be jumping off this shit.
Right, you supposed to go look at it,
the smooth part,
right,
and look over and be like, oh,
you know when you watching the movie. When you watching the movie and they hit and they stop and they look over. There's the enemy right there. Let's go. Like that's
you're supposed to be in the fucking spring. You're just supposed to go by the spring and be like, oh shit, that's cute.
I'm gonna take my girl here one day. I like
it. But not right now. Like, is this what we talk about? How Gene was running a death trap with no insurance?
Very close. Just a couple things. So we touched on kind of basically how like there was no adults really running in charge here, right? So I was want to talk about the employee parties because we did mention how there was all consensual sex. So I just kind of want to just touch on that really quick. So what they would do is at the end of the night, they would go through everything and collect all the fucking money and shit that people lost. And they would collect all that money and they would have these fucking parties and they would call them the Come On, I Want to Lay-Is.
No, that was one party at the end of the year.
That was just one at the end of the year?
Yeah.
Okay. So so they would collect all the money all year and then they would have this party. And it was called the Come On, I Want to Lay-Ya party.
Except for then they would all just sleep there so they wouldn't get in trouble. Smart kids. They're like, I'm not
smart.
Smart. But then they would just get up and just
and now you gotta go be a lifeguard.
Like they would just
now you gotta trust him with your life today.
Like that part was like, ugh.
Yeah. So I didn't want to gloss over that part.
This is also the cattle prod incident.
I was just gonna say we talked about how he wasn't really dirty and maybe he was ethnic, but let's talk about the skit. So listen, guys, it's ran by teenagers, so there's no way that if something that's completely ran by teenagers that people are gonna sneak in or try to get on things that they haven't paid for, they're not authorized to. So Gene's idea, he calls the kid in. He's like, I'm fucking tired of this shit. I'm ending it. I don't want to be here anymore. Whatever. Fuck. He takes the fucking cattle prod, puts it to his chest, and fucking like that. And the kid is like, holy shit, right?
Right.
And the dude's freaking out, and he's like, yo, it's not real. It's not real. But Pete. So look. So you know how everybody be trying to get on? Was it the Alpine slide?
They were going up the ski lift to get on the Alpine slide.
Okay.
They didn't have
to. So you got to get on the ski lift because remember, this is a ski lift. This is a ski resort normally. So you get on the ski lift to go up to Alpine slide, but you had to have like a ticket or a wristband or something to go there. And he's like, yo, I'm sick of all these fucking kids just sneaking on the fucking thing and just riding that shit for free. I'm not with that. I want you to take this cattle prod. I want you and like this other dude. We're gonna have like, go get one of those dirty ass kids from Motor World.
Right.
And bring him over here and he'll act like he's getting on the lift without a ticket. And you just be like, you just shock this nigga. Okay. So they must have done it a few times because there were phone calls and things to like the police and shit about niggas getting killed because they don't have a fucking ticket to get on the fucking. Nobody was killed, guys, but I think that's very extreme.
Gene was a fucking psychopath.
The fact that this nigga had the way that they was talking, this nigga had he literally had the money. You had the money to put the safety precautions and the restraints in order. This nigga was like, nah.
Use this fake cattle prod. Go zap that nigga from Motor World.
Right.
Gene kept a machine gun.
That's what they said. A Mac 10. A Mac 10 in his desk drawer.
And so here's the question, guys. So far, we've given you a nice chunk of what's in this park. We got a couple more things to talk about. We've mentioned the Alpine slide. We haven't really gotten into it yet. But this is where we pose the question for the evening. What insurance company would insure a fucking place like Action Park? Answer?
I'm gonna take fake shit in a different country for $800, Chris.
I'll accept that. I also would have taken a made up one or some shit Gene just came out or pulled out of his ass. Either of those would have been acceptable. You want to go ahead and talk about the insurance, VJ?
Yeah. So Gene does what rich white people like to do with their money. Right. He decided that he was gonna not only get fake insurance, but he was gonna launder his money through the same place that he was getting the fake insurance through. The Cayman Islands.
Since I'm here, you're gonna be like,
Cayman Islands. You know,
already over here. Shit.
The fake money laundering spot of rich white men since forever. It's their thing. It's their 2 a.m. jam. That's where all the money is laundered through. All the offshore accounts. Everyone has one that came in, and it's the rich people thing to do. So he's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna get insurance. He calls this insurance London and World Assurance. He done basically wrote that shit on the same cocktail napkin that he drew the cannonball loop on.
Word.
And then made somebody do like a fake ass stamp and stamp it a little.
Right.
And
that name sounds like, you know how like when niggas be like, what's your boyfriend name? You gotta look around the room and be like, Beyonce Pineapple. Like you that's what it sound like.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
Like when that nigga Peter Griffin named himself Peter Griffin.
Yes. He looked around the room and still came up with his actual name. Peter.
When the fuck would a Griffin ever be flying? Like, what?
I fucking love that show.
So basically, yeah, go ahead.
So basically, the feds get wind of the fact that he's money laundering, because when do the feds not know when people are money laundering? They know.
He just got too big.
Just depends on how invested they are in stopping your money laundering as to whether or not they like indict you.
Exactly.
So apparently he was doing a lot that they caught wind of. So I think I'm going to say this, and I'm not a lawyer, so this is me speaking for me. I'm not representing any law firm. I don't have a license to practice law, so please don't take this with a grain of salt. But it seems to me that the easiest way to launder money and not get caught by the FBI is to just make sure you're not laundering an exorbitant amount to cause them to pay attention to you. Gene, however, was operating the most unsafe place in the planet, making money hand over fist because the bitch was packed every night and then reporting like $4 in like taxes. So the point is if you go launder your money through the Cayman Islands, maybe make the front believable and pay a reasonable amount of taxes. Reasonable. Just a little.
That's been your education spot of the day from All Docked Up.
There you go. So just wanted to put that out there, like a little, just pay a little. So they do a 3-day investigation. They got a board. So they come up with like 110 fucking indictments. And Gene is like, what? Okay. So they're like, look, Gene's like, that's real funny. Like, that's cute. Whatever. I'm not paying. And so they're like, no, it's cool, Gene. We don't need you to pay anything, but you're going to relinquish control of your park in exchange for us not indicting you 110 times.
Right.
And he was like, I'm not gonna do that.
I'm sorry.
He said, that's not going to work for me personally. So Gene did something that only mediocre rich white men can do. He just didn't pay his rent to the town for months.
Fuck it. Let me just inconvenience everybody. Everything.
Everything. Now, mind you, this is a nigga who's running a water park who's not really paying for water because, again, like we told y'all, this is all natural.
He's not paying for water. Fucking the PVC, we know how much it was. $3 a fucking foot. Like he paid $25 to open his park, y'all.
This
like,
nigga not paying on engineers. He's designing this shit himself with his homeboys. So when that nigga stopped paying the state for his bills, like he was like a slumlord that really wasn't a slumlord. Like, we good over here. We just ain't giving y'all shit.
You just not good. Like
and the city, like. To my surprise, I thought they would have just shut like the water or power off to the park and been like, fuck you, bitch. They were like, you know what? This is way more than we signed up to deal with. This is my part-time job.
What up, dog, Tam?
Hey, Tam. Like they did, the city council and the city people were definitely like, so this is what I do one Thursday out of the month. Right. And so I don't really want to deal with this that one Thursday out of the month that I'm here. I just want to collect my civil service jury duty check and be off. I don't want to do this. And so they were like, tell you what, we will just sell you the land and you don't have to pay us rent for like $800,000. And Gene was like, American Express?
Now, mind you, y'all, this nigga just bought this for less than what the fuck he would have paid him. They just outright sued him for all this shit that he was getting in trouble for. That's the funny part about this shit.
So, do we go? You want Roaring Springs and Colorado River Ride? The things that I wrote down for these two were the wristbands. So everybody got a wristband when you were there. And apparently people go to fucking water parks and can't swim. I don't know why that's a thing.
I'm one of those people. I'm just saying.
Nigga, but you like big as fuck. Like, how you drowning?
You're also tall enough to stand up.
All you gotta do is stand up, nigga.
And if you were going somewhere where the water was water you couldn't stand up in, I imagine you would be like, I'm not getting on that, or you would get a fucking life vest. Like, you wouldn't be like
I'm the type of nigga that would have went to Tarzan swings and been like, do I have enough body weight to where when I let go, I'm close enough to the ladder? That way I'm not in the water that long, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, DJ in the back. In the back, yes.
Nigga.
What's up?
You're a motherfucking Navy? What the fuck?
I ain't never told you that story. I ain't never told you the story about me passing the swim test in the Navy.
Go ahead.
So look, all right. So when you go to boot camp, You go to your swim test, you're probably in boot camp for like a month, depending on how long. Sometimes, but anyway, it took us. I was
It's
like,
about to
like a
get
month.
good, girl. Hold still.
Right, come right.
And so I ain't been around a girl since fucking graduation night in high school. You know what I'm saying? Because I went to boot camp like 2 weeks after that. So I'm motherfucking watching all these girls in these bathing suits climb this 14-foot diving board, and I keep turning around and dude is like, yo, if I catch you looking again, I'm putting you out the pool because you got to jump off the 14-foot. Then if you can't swim, they take you to like this little 3-foot just to prove you can do the basics. So I'm over there learning the basics and shit, but I keep looking at these girls. My man like, yo, get the fuck up out of here. So I take my my book over to the desk. They stamp my shit. I put my clothes on. I leave. 2 weeks later, you got to go back to do the retest or whatever. So I'm not really paying attention. I just know I get called to this line, and my man's is like, "Fuck is you in this line for?" I was like, "Shit, I gotta go retake my swim test." It's like, nigga, this is everybody who qualifying for SEALs. What the fuck is you talking about? I never looked at the book the day I left there 2 weeks ago. I opened that bitch. It was a stamped swimmer in there. That nigga stamped pass. The nigga that was sitting at the end wasn't paying attention that I got kicked out, and he stamped pass on my shit.
Oh,
And
nigga, not a fluke. Not a fluke.
To this day, nigga, did a whole nice little time in the Navy too. Can't swim to save my motherfucking life. That's a lot. I can swim
Boat would
underwater.
have sunk, nigga.
Nigga, you would have just been like, you know what, like Rose and shit.
Like, yeah,
You know, like
I
Rose
would've
and shit
been-
on Titanic and shit, holding on to fucking.
I can swim underwater like a fish. It's on top of the water where it's a problem for me.
Okay, I just had. Okay, I'm sorry. I know I got us off track, but I just thought about that, and I was like, now I know for a fucking fact them people
You should
teach you
fucking know how to swim.
I should.
Okay. All right, I'm good. All right, that's
Okay.
God bless
Yeah.
you. You're the child. I don't know. You are
And I
blessed,
still
Like,
would have
for
jumped that
real,
Tarzan
like-
rope. I know I would have.
blessed, and been like, I can swim underwater over there to
Nigga, every water ride at motherfucking Cedar Point I get on, every water ride at goddamn Kings Dominion, the wave pool, all of that shit. The 14-foot side of the wave pool, I'm in that bitch.
So what we've learned today is that if Penrose would have gone to Action Park, he would have been he would have had a fucking
A CFS.
wristband that says CFS for can't fucking swim.
Yep.
So that niggas would stop you from getting on shit that they not about to come save you from.
because they were making $4.
Man, I'm trying. He'd have been like Rose on fucking Titanic, just trying to float on shit.
Hang it up to the goddamn cannon and shit.
Funny part about being on the ship, nigga, you could be outside and that bitch literally, depending on it, would tip and you can reach out and touch the fucking water. I used to think about that sometimes. Like, nigga, there's nothing that's really stopping you from falling off the side of this bitch. So, like, you should probably
Hell
figure
no.
this swim shit out.
Hell no. So Colorado River ride. So the people was on the child. Okay. Gene said he wanted to make a ride that was like river rafting.
Right.
Except for then he was like, but I wanted to be like the super advanced rapids that only people that have been rafting their whole lives go on. But
They
you
want
know, for
experience,
drunk
right.
kids.
This was the Colorado River rafting. And they said that when they first built it, after the testing, the first human candidates that went down all came out unconscious. Every last one of them, because the G's of the water that they were sending out was way too fucking fast, and they was knocking niggas the fuck out on this goddamn ride.
They
Which
was
is
fighting
big.
on the ride, y'all, because the
And
shit
it's
was
like, how
badly
did-
constructed.
and it's like, how do you not think to like close that down?
Well,
Like, they're
remember
just-
once they changed the G forces, people stopped getting knocked out. You was able to make it to the end. It was just at this point, niggas is fighting on this bitch. Like they said, the girl was at the top, and she just like
Gross.
go, 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 go. So
They're not like
stopped
waiting to
them.
like they're not like waiting for like safety, like enough like space in between.
Yeah.
They don't
Just
have
like,
the
go.
people like at the
Go.
halfway point of the ride where it pulls up to push your raft down the thing just in case you
Nope.
get stuck.
All right.
No.
Nothing.
So
Just
you
unattended the whole ride down, hoping that you stay on the raft.
right.
There
And my
were
man
parts.
said-
Go
He
ahead.
said this was the one ride that wasn't regulated by shit else but physics. He said because depending on how it went, either you was that nigga that was going super fucking fast, or you done got stuck, or you on the side of the wall, and you got to use your own feet to get yourself back off the wall. Like, there was nothing on the actual ride that controlled how and where you went outside of the weight of the people inside. So physics, the weight of the people in your raft, and how and the pressure of the water.
Yep.
Yeah.
There was even one part where people would sit and watch because it would push you up along the embankment, and people would almost fall over, and people would really be like, like if you didn't
like this nigga didn't fall.
Yeah, so very unsafe. Niggas used to get whiplash. There used to be fights because niggas was bumping into each other at a crazy fucking speed. Niggas would just get out the fucking raft and just start fucking fist fighting each other in the fucking water. Like, never been to Jersey, but it's giving me Jersey vibes.
Jersey vibes.
Just drunk and fighting. So by the way, like they sell alcohol at this place, and they were not letting these people they weren't cutting them off. They were just letting them go for it.
It was ran by teenagers. They don't know when to cut people off.
Right.
They're just having all the drinks.
Right.
So
this is pouring the beers.
Right. He don't know when to cut you off.
So they're just like, at this point, like daytime is for the water park. Nighttime is when you head over to the motor park. And these folks are getting fucked up, being in the sun all day, and then being like, fuck it, let's go drive go-karts. Right
now. The thought process and fuck it, let's go drive go-karts in between realizing I'm drunk was not a long process, because on the other side of the fucking gate from the beer fest or the beer tent is the entrance to the motherfucking speed track. Like, literally like a 10-foot walk.
You can get your beer and literally be in line.
You watching niggas drive like, shit, I'm about to kill this last one. We pump people away. Like, nigga.
Yeah.
So but keep in mind, this is by a highway. So they're driving the go-karts and the Lola cars onto the freeway, just driving them.
Because they're drunk and they're teenagers.
And somebody's tweaked the shit. So now they go like 60 miles an hour.
Right.
And then people are going off the course, trying to run over the attendants and shit, just out there having a big ass drunk, ridiculous time.
Good old motor world. Shit sounds fantastic.
The speedboats.
This is one of my favorite parts too, I'm not gonna lie. Because for it to be a fucking Miami Vice type boat, but it was only single fucking seated, I was just like, shit sounds way too dangerous. These niggas felt like they put bumpers on it, that it made it safe, I guess.
It was like mini speedboats with like plastic bumpers, like pool, like they put like spray painted black pool noodles with like electric tape, like taping them down on the sides, and they like bumpers. I'm not.
But somebody almost got decapitated, y'all.
Yeah.
Somebody jumped and landed on top of another boat, and he had to have been drunk because he never let off the gas, and it was fucking cutting at the person underneath his boat at
their neck.
Well, and
like
his
their hair.
Yeah, at like close to his neck. Yeah, to the point the lady was like, two things I wanted to say. The lifeguard was the one that brought up his hair was almost about to get caught in the propeller. But as we're transitioning into this part, and they're talking about the lifeguards, remember the lady was like, I was kind of a goody two-shoes, and I didn't really get involved in all of those. So remember she said that earlier. And then
they said the only people that got stuck at Motor World were people that didn't know anybody or were on punishment. And I was like, oh, yep, I see why this is there.
Yes,
he lied.
He immediately was like, yeah, I was at Motor World one day. Yeah, because nobody fucks with you.
Nobody liked you, girl. That's why you're at Motor World, because you wouldn't smoke. You weren't smoking. You weren't fucking. You wasn't drinking.
Right.
Girl, you're like Motor World. You get your square ass
up. You have to cross the freeway.
Go to Motor World. And they was saying that one of the reasons, for one, like, it's just hot as nasty over there. Is motors. It's in a fucking park. It's hot, and it's a lot of dust and shit. But in the speedboat track, where the water, again, y'all, this is no man-made pools. This is all natural shit. This is a swamp. This is swamp water, literally, where they got these speedboats going. And there were fucking
motor oil
fucking 4-foot snakes.
Fucking snakes.
Motor oil, gasoline in the water, and 4-foot snakes.
I'm calling the cops if I see a snake at a fucking water park.
In the water, yeah. Like that's a problem. I mean, and here's the thing. Like, I would be the first to admit, like, yeah, I'm from the fucking country. So, but I don't do snakes, but I've seen my fair share of non-poisonous snakes, whatever. But
they all poisonous to me.
But you just don't pay money to go places, and then if your pool noodle bumper boat falls over,
right,
7 snakes like jump on your head and like try to like suck your eyeball out. Like,
right.
nobody.
Yeah, just because they ain't poisonous don't mean they ain't about to attack.
Right, like what? I don't know. Are they feeding them? Like I
Right.
would think all the people is scaring off the natural meals. So
Real shit.
how do I know he's not hungry? Like, I don't know. You be hungry while you was getting his gasoline and motor oil. Shit.
Right.
and then like somebody done probably cut you with some shit from another ride, so you already this shit.
You already mad and beefing. Like, fuck this. Throw it in the water. Bite
they didn't already talk to each other. First motherfucker fall in. Nigga, I don't care, cuz. We on that.
That's right. Like today we feast, my nigga. Today we feast.
Right. What the one chick say about the 100 tacos? Let's feast.
Let's feast. Okay,
so we already talked about battle cannon, so I guess that leaves
it's
the
time for
Alpine
slide.
Yeah, baby.
So this is probably okay. So everything that we've talked about so far sounds dangerous as shit. This is absolutely positively the one that I would have never in my black ass life fucked with.
Wouldn't have went on, wouldn't have went by, wouldn't have even ventured over there. Like, I'd have probably looked around the bottom and been like, huh. Let's head over to the Tarzan swing. Like,
halfway up, I'm still like, nope, I'm about to do it. I'm with it. After halfway though, once I really saw it, I was like, who in their fucking right mind actually got on this thing? Once I saw that there was a part, nigga, that when it turned, you no longer could see the fucking any part of the beginning. Like, you're going a very long fucking way with all these twists. Nah. Yeah, this shit
Go ahead, describe it. What's the Alpine slide, Penrose?
Fucking the devil's dick? Like, I'm not fucking with that shit. Like, again, y'all, this is a track, again, like I keep stating. This is a fucking ski slope in the summertime. Now, on a lot of these rides, you can just walk up steps that they've built into it or however they've designed it. This one, you actually use the same ski lift that you use in the wintertime to go to the very top of the fucking mountain.
Watch out for the cattle prod. But
right. You gotta have a ticket. The ride ends at the bottom of the mountain. They put you on like what I can only describe as like,
so
it's like a big wheel
wheelie board, like a
like a sled.
Did anybody else which I guess like depending on the place, but did anybody have like at their school have like those little boogie board things?
Boom! That's bang. Boogie board with a handle on it. That I can almost like the way the brake work, it felt like the bar that held the two front wheels probably had like a big ass like rod on it, like a piece of metal or some shit. And to brake, you will pull it back on the stick. So I'm assuming there was like a rubber pad or some type of brake pad that would interact with this, and that's how you would slow down. You push forward to let go. That was supposed to be the idea. At different parts on the slope, it would tell you to slow down. You know what I mean? In a sense of safety. But these walls were only as wide as the damn track damn near. It was it was a cement track. There were no safety precautions to keep you from sliding out. And you were at times probably going anywhere between 35 to 75 miles an hour.
It truly wasn't even high enough
to keep you in. Like, it didn't make sense. Like, you're sitting on it like this, and the wall would be down here by your hip while you're sitting down.
Yeah.
So it's literally like a track and like a lip. Like
the walls only went up as you were turning.
Yeah.
That's it. Other than that, it's literally like the concrete stops kind of where like the wheels are on the thing almost.
Yeah. And this was it looked fun as shit. I'm not gonna lie. And I would want to shake the hand of damn near anybody who made it down the side of that bitch unscathed.
So
I'm at
What?
the end with Gatorade for sure. Like
it would be. I think it would be fun if it wasn't so steep for one,
Right.
and for two, if like the walls were higher, so you didn't feel like you were just gonna.
It would have to be
fall.
like a half
Yeah.
tube for me. It'd be like a half tube. Like
Because like, did you?
I would rather go down than try to look at the scenery. Like
Right. Because that's really all you getting without having the walls.
I don't care.
I guarantee it's probably pretty. But if you're going that fast, I don't have time.
I don't
to
care
look
about
at
that.
shit. No way.
And I think it was crazy because we get like an aerial shot at some point of the
Yes.
Alpine slide, and you see literally some people who are going like a smooth 40 down there.
Yeah.
And then there are people that are like holding it for dear life and like scooting along, like going at a leisurely pace, like, oh shit, I should have got on this shit.
All right.
Let me just do what I
Nigga,
can
before
to
you
get to
push
the
me
bottom.
down, I'm taking a break before I get let
Right.
go. Like, nigga, wait, hold on. Like,
Yeah, but there was people going like a normal, reasonable
back,
speed, and then people going 60. And it's
Nah,
like, well,
I'm
why do
pulling it
people
back
have all
before we
these
start.
speakers?
Like, push me and see if I can go.
right,
I ain't
but don't
moving?
let me
Okay.
go.
Push this one. Like,
And then what we find out is that a lot of times they weren't like, these carts weren't being repaired. So they were
Right.
just putting these people on this shit and the brakes didn't work.
yep,
So that's probably why the nigga was going 60 miles.
real shit. Like,
He didn't want to go 65.
He
He
did.
he was not on that type of hype at all.
Right, he wasn't
didn't have a
feeling
choice. He
that
just got the broke scooter.
People were breaking their collarbones. People's skin was ripped off. People were going and having concussions. They estimated on a weekday, 50 to 100 people would be injured a day
yeah,
on
that's
the
injury.
Alpine slide.
Yep.
This is just the
This
Alpine
side, yeah.
slide.
Remember the dudes that had the body cameras on? And they was going down and you seen his mans go off the side and that shit looked like his whole body just
Like he was never recovering.
remember y'all, for all of y'all that's watching and for y'all too, remember the girl that was standing on the table trying to dance sexy and the table flipped up and she fell on her back? That
was like the
nigga
first
was.
internet video I feel like ever.
I feel like the first internet video was damn, what's my man's? I was at the mall.
Chocolate Rain.
Nah, I was at the mall
Oh.
with this girl. She said she
Oh,
wants
the
chicken
nigga in
fillet.
the-
Unforgivable or
Yeah,
whatever.
Unforgivable, yes.
The fuck is chicken fillet, bitch? Anyway,
Oh my
Nigga.
god.
So
What?
yeah. Since we are talking about injuries, let's describe the infirmary. So
It was an
All right.
outhouse that they
all right,
took the
fuck it.
pull out of.
You get a chunk of your leg pulled out from Alpine. Fuck it, right? You go to fucking the infirmary and you walk in, it's just like a shed or whatever, and it's a white circle on the ground. You're like, that's weird. Okay. And they're like, hey, what happened? And they're like, oh, well, I was on Alpine slide. He's like, oh, okay, let me see your arm. And they take out a spray bottle and it's just like orange stuff. And it's not Sunny D. It's alcohol and iodine.
yeah.
I mean, I know that both of those things are like used in like sterile situations. I just don't know how I feel about a 16-year-old putting it in like a fucking old ass Windex bottle and fucking spraying it on me.
Who
but
mixed
it's
it?
very sterile,
Who
but
mixed
I
this?
mean, but the key here is that alcohol will pretty much kill
anything.
whatever.
Anything.
So, yeah, like it's certainly doing what it needs to do, Windex bottle or not. But
Right. But wow. So and when we say infirmary, I don't even know if they should have called it the infirmary because
It
I
was
feel
an
like
outhouse.
it lacked a lot of infirmary like things.
All right.
So anyway,
it was literally an outhouse shed where they took the toilet or the closed the shithole in and put some floorboards down and said, "Here you
Yes.
go." Like
Here
it's
you
enough
are.
room.
Keep some
for,
band-aids
like,
in here and that orange
Right.
stuff.
and that Sunny D orange
and
stuff,
some
nigga.
keys, the orange shit, and like and like a first aid kit with like some bandages. Like that's
Right.
all that's in there.
So you would go in there, they would spray you with this fucking alcohol iodine, and if anybody has ever experienced alcohol at all on an open ass
On an open wound.
that shit cannot feel amazing. So remember how I said there was a circle on the ground? The reason for the circle is that if you could stay inside of that circle while they were treating you, then you got a prize. Apparently, only 3 people ever stayed in, but the only thing they really got was just a action park fan.
Yeah.
Nigga,
Yeah.
I would have stabbed you with that.
Right.
Like, what the fuck?
I need
there was
to
a
give me seats
bodybuilder
fast
in
or
there.
something, bro.
there was a bodybuilder in there that had some pretty bad burns on his body. They did one part of his body, and he freaked out so bad that like he literally was like, They were like, well, we have to spray the rest of it or it'll get infected. He was like, I'll literally die before I let you spray that with me again.
Yeah.
So.
That's
Like,
wild. Now, and then this is the point where in my mind I was thinking, you pussy. And then I was like, no, fucking spray me. Hit me. I'm not about to have my fucking leg fall off.
Right.
Go ahead and spray that shit.
What you know what it made me think about too when he was like, nah, don't spray my shit. I remember when they was talking about the wave pool in Waterworld, and that was the only man-made pool in the whole place. So just like you didn't need filtration in the regular spring, I guess this nigga didn't think you needed filtration in the shit that he built. And they were saying that when people would get injured, it was hard to see because it was murky. Because from one, you walking around with you got dirty ass feet. There's no filtration system. Fucking people are shitting and pissing in this pool, and people with infected ass wounds are getting in this water.
And sunblock.
Yes,
it just sounded so nasty.
It's just
just imagine when you fell in with your mouth open. Like,
it sounded so gross.
Oh my god, dog. That's like, look, when we came to Vegas for Palooza and we went to that pool party, that's why we was all the way at the end with the rich people. Because everybody that was in that middle.
In the middle?
That
was I distinctly remember us all staying to like one side by the bar.
Right by the steps. Right by the steps.
Because they was wild over there. It was
hop out.
Right.
Too much
that
going
other
on.
side, nigga, like it was a film on top of that water. I was like,
It was a lot.
Niggas was dancing in that shit too. Like, this is how we do it. No, bitch.
That was
okay. So
they had so many injuries, they had to get their own ambulance at that joint.
That too,
The city of Vernon was like,
guys, we're talking about Vernon, New Jersey. We're not talking about like a huge metropolitan area. So literally
20,000 people tops, right?
Yeah. So like literally with all of the injuries that were happening at Action Park, they literally had a meeting and was like, my nigga, like you literally have to get your own ambulance because niggas really need ambulances in the town and they're over here with fucking niggas in fucking broken ankles and shit over here. So
you know what though? I think also them niggas was like, nigga, we don't work every day. Don't shit happen out here. And then since you done been this water park, nigga, we getting called up to this bitch at least 3-4 times a day. Like, nah. Shit.
The folks with Sue Gene. Gene has fake insurance. London and World Assurance out of the Cayman Islands.
London and Corkboard and Calendar. Wine glass limited.
London and bottled water, like London and whatever the fuck was in the room.
Right.
He saw a glow. Ooh, London and World. Okay.
World.
If you ever seen Usual Suspects, that's what that.
That's exactly.
I love that shit.
And so basically, people would sue him. They would win, and Gene just wouldn't pay.
He would never settle. He wanted to take it and drag it out as long as he could in court. And even if he won, like VJ said, he wouldn't pay. He tried to get Donald Trump to invest in Action Park. This nigga visited Action Park one time and was like, this is a little bit too crazy for me.
He was like,
so if that doesn't give you an idea of how crazy it is, like...
Donald Trump said the shit was too nuts. Like, come on.
Like, nah, this ain't my style.
What was this? What is this? Was this the first wife? Was this Marla?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, this might have been wife one. That man looked at that shit, collected Marla, and said, "Hey, girl, let's go see Hugh." Like, like he's girl, we're gonna go over here with the clad ladies.
I don't know what this raggedy shit is.
I don't know what this shit is, but we're gonna go over here and visit Hugh. But I don't know what this is.
But he would go so far as to not paying people that like niggas would have to like hire the marshals to come to Action Park to get their fucking money.
Yep.
To the point to where like when the marshal showed up, they would just like buzz the gate and be like, "Hey, they're here to collect." They would walk them over to the cash office and they would just like count out the money, which is insane when you think about it. Like they were doing such a large volume of business at this place that they just
You could just cash a nigga out for a fucking lawsuit
out
on a
of the
Wednesday
cash office.
at the cash office.
Come
Like,
on. To the point my
Crazy.
man pretty much was saying that like the marshals was there enough to where they probably just walking through the park having a conversation before they got to the cash office. Like, shit, man, I'm marcying them, man. The kid's all right. Like, nigga, I know why you're here. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
this is the third time being here this month.
There was really no way to determine how many people were injured at Action Park because if they didn't require an ambulance, they wouldn't report it.
And if it was employee injury or employee death, they wouldn't report it.
So
this is where shit gets all sad.
I'm gonna say, dude, once I'm talking about the deaths, we can talk about them in order if y'all want to. So we can start with the boy that died on the Alpine slide.
Yeah. What was it? George Larson?
Yeah. George Larson.
July 8th, 1980, he goes down the Alpine slide on a broken cart and flips right on off the track, like we said they seem to do. And George just kept rolling.
Yep. Hit his head on some jagged ass rocks on the side of the mountain. And after so many days of being in a coma, they don't necessarily say this, but I'm pretty much was it felt like it alluded to the fact that they actually pulled the plug on it. His parents did. They say
he didn't have any brain function, and I think they waited as long as they could, and then they were just like, "It's." And it was just like, because I think she says that the brother-in-law or somebody was like a doctor, like a specialty or something from somewhere else, and he came in to examine him, and they was like, "No,
he ain't ever coming back." So but yeah, that was that one. That was he was
the first death. So that's the death on Alpine Slide. Right. And then you got a drowning in the wave pool.
That was the second one.
And then there was an electrocution on the whitewater kayak experience.
Yep.
Yeah, so basically the way this worked is he had a kayak, and that honestly should have been the least dangerous thing there because you were literally like, because it didn't like the water wasn't going like it wasn't like class 4 rapids. It wasn't like it was you in a kayak and you just kind of paddle along and then get off. It should have been the least dangerous thing there. Gene decided to put fans underneath the water to simulate small currents so that you would go to kind of push you along in the kayak. Somebody fell out of the kayak.
Which is not an uncommon thing at most water parks, especially nowadays.
But they have to have done something to ground the electricity.
Exactly. And that's what the nigga did not do.
Didn't do. And this poor kid fell out of the kayak, got too close to these fans, and electrocuted himself to death. Like,
yeah.
And then they had another drowning and another drowning.
Another drowning at the wave pool and a drowning in. Damn. It wasn't a Colorado, Joe. You can't drown in that. It was something else. Because there was only 2 drownings in the wave pool and there was a drowning somewhere else.
Yeah, and electrocution.
It might have been the definitely.
Maybe. But
at the end, I think they said George's parents got $100,000 settlement from Gene.
Their lawyer told them that teenagers are a liability to family, and it really wasn't no like sense of like trying to like get mad money for him.
Well,
that sounded a little like shitty.
Well, because Gene's defense was that the ride didn't kill him. The rock did.
The rocks did. But now his mom said we didn't see anything that can prove her point. But the mom said that supposedly, excuse me, the state had told the park that those rocks that George died from was supposed to be cleared off before it opened up that summer anyway.
Yeah.
So, we didn't see anything that said that, so I don't know, how much her point is actually proof.
Right.
Or true, I mean. But
and then apparently I guess they were saying that they were able to keep operating with really no oversight after George died because they didn't have to report the death because they said that George was an employee and it happened at night and it was raining and he was drunk and none of that was true.
Right, and none of that was true. They didn't even report his death, right.
Right.
Like the state never knew that this kid died at the park until the parents made some noise about it.
And it's unfortunate. I don't know, like I'm not like super like solid on the ins and outs of like civil lawsuits, but the thing about that is like the burden of proof in civil cases is a lot lower, but you are essentially asking people or a jury of people to decide what somebody's life is worth. And a lot of times when you're talking about children or infants or people that are non-insurable, like you get less money. And I know, and that's statistically the case, and it sounds horrible and shitty. But it's because they don't, because you're not losing things. Like, it's not like if the head of the household dies and leaves 10 children who now need to be taken care of. Like, if you lose your infant, like, it's horrible and it's shitty, but they're going to give you less money because they're not looking at lost wages or whatever else they factor into it. So it's horrible. But yeah, you're asking people to put a price on someone's life.
Right.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, this is basically the end. Gene died in 2012.
Yep.
That's the park closed in 96. Somebody
tried to reopen it. His son even tried to reopen it at one point and tried to
Mountain Creek or something,
and tried to upgrade the Cannonball.
Mountain Creek bought it. The son bought it back. He tried to upgrade the Cannonball. Did not open. Then Mountain Creek got it back from them. And the funny part, the nigga who runs Mountain Creek, the nigga that Gene told, hey, my dude, I'm about to do this cattle prod shit. That man now
he owns that water park. Yeah. It's still a water park, a lot safer, I'm assuming now.
Yeah, like they even showed the part where Cannonball, not even the Cannonball falls, but remember they was talking about the cliffs where you can jump or slide.
Yeah,
and people was just swimming down there. Like, all of that shit's gated off now. You know what I mean? Like, everything's a lot safer. There is no more Cannonball Loop. It's just a regular water park now. You know what I mean? But
I love how we made it sound like it's just not just a regular water park. Whatever.
Bring back Action Park, bitch.
Nigga.
They're just kind of talking about how it, and I thought it was interesting, right? Because like they were saying, it's very much a 70s and 80s kids thing, right? Like, it's the idea of, your parents turning you out at 8 a.m. and you eating lunch at whoever's house you were at and you being gone, and nobody was worried about where you were. Nobody.
I didn't see my mom. I didn't see my mom from 7 in the morning sometimes till like whenever the fuck it was time to come home at night. And it wasn't a weird thing, you see what I'm saying? So when you think about like the 80s and what the fuck was going on then, like, I can see why that shit was ran the way that it was ran.
And I mean, it was a certain level of nostalgia for that. Obviously within, limits of what you can do now, but
CFS can't fucking swim.
The 80s, the 70s, the 80s, and even a little bit of the 90s, like, we were latchkey kids. Like, it wasn't this constant like surveillance, so these kids could say, oh, I'm going over here, but really they was at Action Park all day, like
all day long,
fucking dodging a broken hip and shit. Like,
mama work at the latchkey center after work, nigga. She signed you in. You gone somewhere the fuck else.
You gone. Sure. Like, so it's a different time. And I think people were reflecting at like how dangerous that shit was, but also that was the 80s.
That was the 80s, yeah.
We gotta remember, like, we hadn't been too far from just getting fucking seatbelts in the fucking car.
And people were fucking smoking on airplanes. You could still smoke, like they had smoking sections in IHOP.
Sections in restaurants, all that
shit.
Like, it was
a pancake.
I think a lot of people who never experienced the 90s and the 80s, like especially kids that were born in the, especially if you were born in the 2000s, they think that the world we live in was always as safe as it is now. And that cybersecurity has like always been a threat. Nah, nigga.
Nah.
This was physical security.
No, it was just the threat to you was you being outside and not killing yourself. Kids don't go outside now. The whole thing was you do whatever you want. You just don't
get back to the house
or broken, and that was it.
Come back to the house. Yeah,
which is insane when you think about it, because I know this is off topic,
but
it was wild, and hell, there's the same amount of murderers and child kidnappers, and like there's not less or more of them.
Exactly, like there's not an uptick in this shit. Like this shit is like at a steady pace.
Now I guess we just talk about it more. Like people were still
because we have more access to the information. Like if it didn't happen in your town, we didn't know that shit happened. If it wasn't on the fucking 10 o'clock news, you know what I'm saying? Like 10 o'clock, Chicago's 10 o'clock news isn't telling me about some fucking fucking little town in Tennessee. You feel me?
Real shit.
Like, so that
And-
like that's the difference is that we have so much more access to information to these places that we wouldn't have had.
And I'm
before.
gonna keep it a buck. Back in them days, it was so many of us outside that it wasn't being talked about. For one, like you said, your town wasn't talking about somebody else's town. But for two, as fucked up as it may sound, there's less kids outside now, so it's more noticeable.
Yeah,
It's easier to notice when one kid goes missing as opposed to back then when only people that were going to notice was your fucking town because there was so many people outside.
exactly.
Right, and kids would walk home, and they don't do that now. And now you can just take somebody's kid on the way home from school because they were all walking.
Right.
So if one was just kind of lingering too long and you snatched them into the alley, nobody fucking noticed.
Yep.
No.
Which is terrible, but
Which is terrible. But
terrible.
I get there's a point to all of this. So.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean that's it. Is there anything else that we want to add, guys?
That the Larsons celebrated the day that Gene died.
When Gene died.
They literally popped a bottle of champagne.
If I could just say, you the one who settled on 100,000. So
real shit. And you the one who gave that nigga the money to go to Action Park that day, Mom. I don't know if I can really blame her, but
yeah, because you don't want that on your conscience for the rest of your life. But like not this nigga going to Action Park for the first time and never going again though. Like, sorry.
Damn.
Okay, that's enough.
That was terrible.
Extra things
I felt it coming. I felt it coming, and I couldn't stop
Fuck
it.
I didn't need extra things to go to hell for. Like I was going, and now
I couldn't stop it.
why would you double punch the ticket, Chris? Like I'm already. Why would you click it again? Why would you do this?
Could you imagine?
When we get to the pearly gates, that nigga Jesus is gonna be like, y'all made everything a great joke. So it was just that one time.
That was fucking too far.
Right.
To the back.
That one was too far.
And then be like,
Kid on the Alpine slide.
Chris made that joke. Nigga, if y'all can laugh together, y'all get to the back.
Y'all to the back together. Shit.
Right.
Stop negotiating. Come on, guys.
We a team. Bring that.
Yeah. Come on. All right, guys. So, I think we'll end it there. Again, guys, this is Class Action Park on HBO Max.
Please go watch it.
Like for real, like
seriously, go watch
this is
it.
probably one of the ones I would say, even though we probably did a great recap, go watch this anyway.
No,
Because you literally are not gonna believe it. You need to see. You just see it.
And then we didn't talk about it, but they like tell these stories, and when they're telling you the stories, they have these little cartoons.
The cartoon animations.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Like
you're gonna see the dummies decapitated. You're gonna see the nigga coming out with you're gonna see the teeth. Like it's great. Like it's great. It's great.
Like imagine Screwball. What was the one with the guy?
The ball, man, and the ball in the ball.
No, the other documentary we watched with the kids.
Dope.
So like Screwball, but with like animated shit.
No, honestly, Jay, I've been thinking this the whole time. He definitely is giving me Where's Black Ass Waldo vibes.
So I put this on, of course, to match the do-rag, but that's exactly what this is a fucking Where's Waldo shirt. But it's a Vans shirt.
Oh, okay.
It's like Vans, like the Vans stripes. But yeah, that's I had to ask
whatever
them to
you
match
need
the
to
do-rag.
feel. Whatever you need to think.
So, guys, go watch that while we figure out what we're going to watch next for you guys. In the meantime, I'm Chris. That's VJ. That's Penrose. We're all docked up. See you next time.
I'm going to hell. Bye.